are so far away still today from really balancing diets, because when we balance diets for cattle, we're balancing diets for rumen fermentation. That's where all the feed has to go through. Now, wouldn't it be nice to be able to fine-tune that a little bit to maximize what's going on in the rumen? Dr. Randy Shaver's presentation here today on carbohydrates. And after he got through the Madison sort of slides that he had, he put the first one up on carbohydrates. And at the very top it said carbohydrates, and then sort of down below that it had non-structural carbohydrates and it had fiber. And you know, unfortunately, we in the dairy industry, we kind of still look at carbohydrates that way, don't we? I mean, we look at non-fiber carbohydrates, which make up, what, 40% of the diet, and NDF, which makes up 25 to 35% of the diet, and we kind of think we're balancing diets when we look at those values, and that's kind of a joke, isn't it? Remember, he said everything adds up to 100%. Well, those two things add up to about 75%. So it's kind of a joke if we really think we are. But then down at the bottom of his slide, he had cellulose and hemicellulose and pectins and fructans and sugars and starch, and there was a long list. The bottom line is we can analyze for those in laboratories if we really want to. And I think one message that came out today was that, you know, they all behave differently in the rumen. And he actually had one category that he just called sugars. Well, there's different types of sugars. And we also know those sugars are degraded or metabolized by bacteria in the rumen differently. And they yield different products. Now just imagine if when you send in feed samples, they got analyzed for all the different carbohydrate fractions. And just imagine that if we that have done dairy nutrition research, if when we submitted our samples, we got all that information, and now with our university herds, or even with field herds, we could go out there and we could change the levels of fructose, or sucrose, or some of these individual carbohydrates and look at the impact on ruminal fermentation. I think some of it would be very shocking. I think it'd be very shocking.